Hey guys, Taylor here, your Backstage Beautician, and today I am doing a hairstyle for the ensemble of the Broadway musical Pippin. This hairstyle is great for if you are playing they're called players in the ensemble of the musical Pippin. A lot of people, when they do this musical these days, like to model it after the Broadway revival that happened a couple years past. Very circusy, carnival, sideshow-esque. I know when I did it back in 2015, I actually had like a clown hat that I wore on top of this hairstyle, so you want something that's big, bold, and larger than life. A lot bigger than the original show was. All right, and without any further ado, let's jump into the hairstyle. All right, so first thing we're going to do after brushing out our hair is put in our handy dandy heat protector. I feel very strongly about using a heat protector whenever I do hairstyles for a show, because if you're anything like me and you're using your real hair and using heat on it for, well, I don't know, my show ran for 2 weekends, however long your show runs, your hair is going to be pretty fried by the end of this show. So please, 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 please use your heat protectant. Apply liberally all over your hair and then brush through afterwards. Maybe wait 30 seconds for your hair to dry and then start with small 1/2 inch sections. I like to use pretty small sections for this. There's not any particular setting pattern. I just like to start in the front of my hair and move back so you can be sure that you are working thoroughly through the hair. Doesn't matter which way you're curling, it just matters that you use small 1/2 inch sections and make sure every piece of hair is curled. So take your 1/2 inch section and curl it around a 1 inch curling iron. You can use smaller if you want tighter curls, bigger if you want looser curls, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you wrap it around the curling iron. I like to wait about 10 seconds. Then I like to slide it off onto my fingers and roll it flat against my head like a pin curl and then pin it against my head. I typically use about 2 bobby pins per curl, and I like to crisscross them in the middle. When they crisscross over each other, you get this interlocking action on the bobby pins so that it'll stay extra strong, holding into your hair and holding that curl in place. It's as simple as that. Continue moving all over your hair doing this from, I don't know, I did front to back, you could do top to bottom. It's totally up to you, just so long as you curl every piece of hair on your head. If you find that 2 bobby pins are not enough to hold the hair into the curl, then you might find that you're using too much hair in that section and you should split it into 2 smaller curls. Again, I take the bobby pins and I crisscross them in the middle of the pin curl so that it holds tight to my head. And then once you're all done with your curls, spray your head with hairspray. Don't worry about dunking your head in hairspray, because what you're spraying is only the surface area of the curl. There's quite a bit we're going to spray later on down the road, but just give it a good spritz. Let the hairspray dry fully. Trust me, this is not supposed to look glamorous at this part, so don't be freaked out if your head looks like a curly porcupine. It means you did it right. It's not supposed to be pretty. And then to protect these curls and keep them in place, I like to wrap a hair scarf around my head. Just take a square scarf, fold it in half along the diagonal, put the flat part of the diagonal at the back of the nape of your neck, wrap it around the front of your head, tie twice, and then tuck all the ends in. It's pretty simple. If you've got a big noggin like me, be sure to use an extra large scarf. I can't use regular bandanas, my head is huge. So then once you've got your hair all tied up, you're just gonna wait a couple hours or until showtime to let these babies down. So typically I would leave these curls in for at least a couple hours, you know, whatever, 4:30 to 7:30. 3 hours. I leave them in for about 3 hours. Some people, if they had hard to curl hair or hair that was really straight, would even do this the night before and wear it all day long through classes looking like this. Yeah, you get a lot of weird looks on campus, but if you're looking to do this hairstyle with no heat, you could do this with a cool curling iron the night before, leave it in all night and all day, and then take it out in time for your show in the evening, and you should get a pretty similar look depending on how well your hair holds a curl. You might need to adjust from there. All right, and we look just as pretty after as we did before. So let's take these bobby pins out. All right, I think I got them all out. Oh, all right, and now we're gonna make a little bump in the front. For this first section of the bump, I'm gonna start right here, just at these high points on my head. I'm gonna separate out the very front of this section Then brushing it smooth in the front. I'm going to tease it in the back, but only the back, not the front, because we want it to be smooth in the front. After you tease it, optional is to add a bit of hairspray in the back. Then flip it over to let it dry the opposite direction. Then we're going to take more hair behind the front of the bump. Now this is the hair we're going to tease the crap out of, because this will be hidden by the hair in the front. I also found when I was in the show I needed this hair teasing to be extra strong because it's underneath a hat. Once your hairspray is dry, flip it back, maybe give the front just a little bit of smoothing action. Then you got your section, pin it to your head. I like to give it a tiny twist to hold it together. Then once it's on my head, I push it forward and pin it right where you twisted it. Then we're going to do the similar thing on either side to give us some front-facing volume. So separate out the front section. Then the section behind gets a bit of teasing. I'm not doing quite as much of these side sections. We don't need to have, I don't know, a crown of bumpets. A bumpet crown, can you imagine? Just enough to kind of give a little bit of dimension to this hairstyle. So you got the smooth over top with the teasing under bottom. You can even give her a little twist if you want, and then push it forward. I like to pin this back here right above my ear. If you pin it too far back on the back of your head, then you might as well just have a half updo. We want this to be kind of pieces pulled back. So don't pin it back here, pin it right over your ear. Do the same thing on the other side. All right, and smooth it over. The goal of these side pieces is to try to get them to blend from side to top. I normally part my hair here and I have a colic, so it's a lot harder to do that on this side. All right, take your section, smooth it over, give it a little twist if you want, and then bump it forward. Watch out for weird pieces. I think that's about as good of a blend as I'm gonna get. All right, once these pieces are in place, give them a spray. You can't be in theater and not like to use a lot of hairspray. All right, then with these curls that are left, you can leave them like this if you like this look. I wanted it to be really big, almost kind of 80s hair, so I would then just kind of randomly tease pieces throughout this and break apart these ringlets to give it a nicer look. So I just kind of grabbed the end of a curl. Don't pull too hard to pull it out, but just hold the end and then tease up so the other pieces fluff off of it. This is why we had those curls hold for so long and why we sprayed them so much, that hopefully they would hold while we do this. Again, more hairspray. All right, and with that, I think we're all done. All right, and that's the hairstyle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Press the subscribe button if you enjoyed my video. And until next time, break a leg on your production of Pippin.